The Pacific Association of Supreme Audit Institutions, PASAI, is the official association of public sector audit officers in the Pacific region. These public sector audit officers are known internationally as Supreme Audit Institutions, or SAIs. A SAI is an independent institution established under a country's constitution or other laws and is normally headed by an Auditor General, Public Auditor, or Magistrate, depending on the system of country governance. PASAI's overall goal is to promote transparent, accountable, effective, economical, and efficient use of public sector resources in the Pacific. To meet this goal, PASAI works across the Pacific region to deliver programs and activities for its member SAIs with the objective of improving the quality of public sector auditing in the Pacific to recognised high standards. On behalf of its members, PASAI also advocates the interests of good governance, effective public financial management, and the need for strong independent SAIs in accordance with international principles. It has 28 members covering the Northern Pacific to the South Pacific, including New Zealand, Australia and its states, and represents 3 main models of government. PASAI's structure is an international unincorporated body operating under a charter with its Congress as its supreme body that meets once a year and a governing board appointed by the Congress. PASAI's long-term strategic plan 2014 to 2024 is founded on the concept that the work of the Pacific SAIs will contribute to improved management and use of public sector resources in the Pacific through timely audits of a recognised high standard, and will lead to increased transparency and accountability for citizens. The day-to-day operations of PASAI is managed by its Chief Executive and the staff at the Secretariat based in Auckland, New Zealand. PASAI is one of the 7 regional organisations of the International Organisation of Supreme Audit Institutions, INTERSAI, a worldwide affiliation of 192 government audit officers with its Secretariat based in Vienna, Austria.
Supreme Auditor institutions audit the governments of their countries. They are independent bodies that can stand back and tell the citizens of their country what their money has been spent on.
Supreme Audit Institutions, SAIs, make significant contributions to their societies by bringing accountability, integrity and transparency to government. These contributions are maximised when the SAIs are able to communicate the value of their role in government and the results of their work to citizens and other stakeholders. The establishment of SAIs and the necessary degree of their independence should be laid down in the Constitution, with the details in legislation.
People think the auditor is someone who just looks at the accounts and produces a report on the accounts at the end of the year and makes sure the money's been spent properly. But in the public sector, the Auditor General plays a much bigger role in ensuring that there is integrity and accountability for the spending of public money.
We have this common goal of improving public accountability and good governance and transparency in the region. So we all have one aim, one mission.
The auditing of government and public sector entities by SAIs has a positive impact on trust in society because it focuses the minds of the custodians of public resources on how well they use those resources.
Supreme Audit institutions are essential because they have the mandate to carry out this responsibility for and on behalf of the citizens and stakeholders who rely on the government to carry out their responsibilities, which is to deliver high-quality services for the people.
Citizens are able to hold the custodians of public resources accountable once SAI's audit results have been made public.
Ultimately, the long-term outcome that the work of an SAI, hopes to achieve is improving the lives of citizens, and it's through the audit recommendations, the audit findings that they found during their work and publishing them.
An independent, effective and credible SAI is therefore an essential component in a democratic system where accountability, transparency and integrity are indispensable parts of a stable democracy.
Independence is the absolute fundamental principle for an Auditor General. If you are beholden to a government, if you are underfunded, if you do not have the legal ability to produce a report and table it in your parliament, if your parliament doesn't sit, then you cannot fulfil the role of an Auditor General.
The journey of PASAI started 43 years ago with its very first conference of Head of Audit Officers in the South Pacific, held in Suva, Fiji in 1973. At the time, the government audit officers in the South Pacific were not independent officers and were either a unit within the Prime Minister's office or the Ministry of Finance. Their role was also limited to internal audit and the whole of government accounts, for some sides were audited by the Office of the Auditor General of New Zealand. At the Intersai Congress in Sydney, Australia in 1986, the South Pacific Association of Supreme Audit Institutions, PASAI, came into being and in 1987 was approved to be a regional working group of Intersai.
We went to Australia in Sydney. That's the name PASAI came because at the time was only the South Pacific Audit Officers. At the time, we used South Pacific Supreme Audit Institution. That's why PASAI came about, firstly.
PASAI held its very first Congress in 1988 in Port Vila, Vanuatu, with Tonga Sai as the Secretary General.
My first involvement with PASAI was in 1994 when I represented New Zealand at the conference in Tuvalu, an organisation that's been going now for over 40 years. I can see how that happened. It was just the way that people worked together. New Zealand was appointed Secretary General at that time, and we've been the Secretary General from that time to now.
It was during the 10th PASAI Congress held in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, where the Pacific Regional Audit Initiative, PRI, was introduced. PRI was an initiative under the Pacific Plan approved by the Pacific Forum leaders in 2007 as an initiative to strengthen public sector auditing in the Pacific region. This PRI initiative was funded by the Asian Development Bank. The 11th PASAI Congress held in Rarotonga, Cook Islands in April 2008 is where the name changed from PASAI to PASAI in recognition of its wider membership. The PASAI Secretariat was established in 2009 following the PASAI Congress held in Palau. Mr. Ironi Vatuloka was appointed as the Executive Director of the PASAI Secretariat.
As an Executive Director of PASAI, I was responsible for setting up a strengthened PASAI Secretariat in Auckland. I was also responsible for the capacity building programs as well as cooperative audits which PASAI was doing for the first time, as well as advocate transparency and accountability in the Pacific region.
PASAI has come a long way. From that genesis, PASAI has gone from strength to strength. Its achievements include that good governance has been established. The governing board is providing very good direction and oversight of performance. There is a top-class strategic plan in place supported by an excellent performance measurement framework. The maturity of each SAI has moved up the capability curve. Individual SAIs have gained confidence and competence, and their standard of auditing is improving. New legislation has improved the independence of SAIs in some countries. The Sub-Regional Audit Support Initiative, or SAS, was very successful. The government account audits are up to date and capability is better in the 4 participating countries. We have completed a number of useful cooperative performance audits. These audits were on solid waste management, access to safe drinking water, sustainable fisheries, climate change adaptation, public debt management, and a cooperative financial audit on foreign aid projects. The courses run by the Secretariat are improving the skills of our auditors. We are piloting the International PSI PMF Lite. PSAI PMF is the Inter-PSAI performance measurement framework based on PSAI 12, the value and benefits of PSAIs. Our advocacy has increased the capability of public accounts committees across the Pacific. PASAI has a suite of manuals to guide audits and manage audit practices. The Independence Toolkit on the website is world-class. Each Congress has contributed to the collective knowledge of members and built strong, enduring relationships and support networks. PASAI has established itself as a respected part of Inter-PSAI. The Inter-PSAI Development Initiative is a cooperation partner in delivering and supporting PASAI programs. PASAI has received financial support and guidance from the Asian Development Bank, the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the United Nations Development Programme, and the World Bank.
I would say that the most contribution is in the area of capacity building. The training that they conduct in all aspects of auditing. And our people have been able to take the opportunity to participate in these trainings. And that, to me, is the most important contribution of PASAI to my small PSAI.
Tuvalu being such a small place, there's a limited amount of legal and auditing expertise in Tuvalu. So really the advantage of us for PASAI is they're a good sounding board for being able to say, we've got a problem, do you know any other countries who have encountered this and can they help with it in the future?
I think my audit being a small office with limited resources, especially with staff capacities, especially in technical capacities, PASAI has assisted us a lot in training, organizing training for my staff.
PASAI has assisted a lot in terms of workshops, in terms of training, information exchange, and also in terms of leadership.
So the ultimate benefit of the Supreme Audit Institution is the citizens and the public. And I think PASAI has learned that over the years. I think particularly with the benefit of PSAI 12, we've recognised that we need to be helping our member Supreme Audit institutions to communicate better, to interact better with the public and their stakeholders. And I think that's at the heart of it, really.
Well, the communities, it's all about confidence, and we want the communities to have confidence that someone is watching how public monies are spent on their behalf. Communities can't do it themselves, and it's important that they have confidence in their Auditor General and their audit staff that that work is being done on their behalf. So it really is it's a confidence thing, and when communities are aware that the audit office staff are being well trained, they're producing reports on time and quality reports, they can start getting some comfort that the public monies are being properly spent. As I say, communities can't do it themselves. They're relying on, to a large extent, apart from the media, but also on the Auditor General to be doing a good job.
There are very few things in life where you can see real results in a 7-year period, and I am so proud of what's been achieved by our organisation.
The relevance of PASAI to the region and to individual Pacific PSAIs is immense. As the quality of public sector auditing improves and individual PSAIs are making a difference to the lives of citizens through their audit reports and audit findings, ultimately this leads to public confidence on public financial management and the use of these funds and resources.